There's nothing to help. Watch me one by one. Count my
Hello everyone, welcome back. First of all, yes, I'm using Janet instead of my mascot. Deal with it. So today we have an interesting topic for discussion. What is that topic? Jackson. Who is he? Well, let's get into it. So for a few years now, I've been browsing through questions and answers on a website and app called Quora. Basically, people ask questions in the community and people give advice to answer the questions with their own opinions and stories. Sounds like fun, right? Well, I've been browsing questions on there for the past few years. But a few months ago, I finally made an account and started answering people's questions. Basically, I give out parenting advice, even though I don't have kids. Logic. Here are some examples, and then people upvote answers and share answers. Quora also has communities, and people talk to each other and get to know each other. They even have some stuff about LPS. It's pretty cool. But no, I give out the best advice I can and help people out. But the main problem with Quora is trolling questions and how many bad parents are on there. And sometimes it's hard to tell what's a troll and what isn't, like this. This is clearly a troll, but people get all riled up over it. But on Quora, there's a certain guy who asks questions, and his name is Jackson. So Jackson, in short, he's a pedophile. I just need to say, he's a straight up pedophile. Well, he asks a million different sexual questions about lesbian, underage girls, and feet. Yeah. So, Jackson is this creepy old dude on Quora who has asked literally millions of questions on thousands of different sock puppet fake accounts. He makes millions of fake accounts because he gets banned, and then he makes new accounts to hide his identity, but we all know it's him. But basically, Jackson is a creepy pedophile with a foot fetish and an obsession with kids. Everyone on Quora hates him, and I do as well. But he still requests me to answer his questions. Want to see some of his questions? Let me show you! Out of a million questions, this is just one example. What should I do when my 13-year-old daughter's 12-year-old friend takes off her socks and puts them up to my daughter's nose during sleepovers while saying, "Smell my stinky socks"? Is this abnormal behavior? What would you do if you caught your 13-year-old daughter and her 9-year-old friend sticking their toes up each other's noses and told you they actually love the smell of their stinky toes? It gets worse. How would you feel if your 9-year-old daughter put a silly game with her 13-year-old girl on the park, great grandma Jackson, on the park where they spontaneously put their toes in each other's noses and wiggled them, giggling and enjoying the childhood smell of stinky toes? So those aren't even the worst ones. I'm pretty sure you can see a pattern here. Jackson's questions involve a lot of stinky feet and toes and other gross stuff. And it's usually two underage girls, one of them being a young teenager and one of them being a tween or a young kid. They often involve parks or silly games or heels or feet or toes or smiling or friendly and other gross stuff like that. His favorite seems to be the 13-year-old and the 10-year-old. He's sick. He's absolutely messed. Most of his questions also involve him asking, like, how would you feel? What would you do? Stuff like that. And they also often involve a park. Jackson is an adult old man who finds this stuff hot and asks these questions on Quora all day, every day, and it's not okay. I honestly worry about what Jackson does in real life and with children, and if he lives out these disgusting fantasies. It's just awful. He's annoying and everyone hates him. We need a group called We Hate Jackson and have stickers and merch because it's ridiculous. Jackson needs to be banned, and honestly, he needs to be investigated by police because something is clearly wrong. He needs help, and he's probably involved in a lot of illegal stuff. I remember someone saying they sent off his IP address for him to be investigated, but I don't know if that's true. But there's a comment of someone saying exactly what Jackson does in his life. Someone told me that all Jackson does is, like, watch stuff and get into it, and it's weird. This one person replied to one of my things, saying, he made a sock puppet account using the name Sarah to comment on someone's answer that he wants answers validating his sick fantasies. And if we don't like the literal pedophilic nature of his questions, to ignore them and move on. In other words, deal with the fact I'm a pedophile or shut up. We keep telling him to stop and he won't, so why should we stop? He swears he's never touched a little girl, ever. However, I can feel it in my soul that he's going to one of these days. Or he's gonna sit on a park bench and jerk off to the little girls playing there if he doesn't already. Ugh. I always thought the FBI or whatever had ways of monitoring what you look up or download to your computer and phone, even in the incognito mode. So the fact he hasn't been arrested yet for possibly possessing child pornography and is still free to ask these disgusting questions has me feeling gobsmacked. Yeah, I'd say so too. So yeah, it's messed up. Extremely messed up. And I really hope he's never touched a kid. That would just be awful. Honestly, he's so messed up. Here are some other people's reactions to him, and we all know it's him. Their reactions are pretty funny though, so I'm going to read you a few of them. And sorry if I read anyone's names wrong. So Baron says, "What is with you asking these ridiculous questions about kids and stinky feet?" Elizabeth says, "This poster is obsessed with 13-year-old girls and their feet, and he has asked dozens of similar questions with slight variations. Very unhealthy stuff." Shirley said, "Getting rather tired of seeing these questions about a 10-year-old and a 13-year-old girls and their bare feet. Someone has a serious kink going on." Jill says, "Boring, boring, boring. It's the foot fetish person back again. What is it with your obsession and children and their feet? You seriously need help." Russell says, "My reaction is that I am one step away from letting all your friends and family know what is on your saved pictures and visited websites. Jackson." Sparkina says, "I would feel like I've had enough about you posting this foot nonsense. So is everyone else on here. Every Tom, Dick, and Howard and their brother-in-law on this site has had just about enough of your foot. Foot sniffer fantasies." Janae says, "Oh look, Jackson has another sock puppet account." And gee, what a surprise. He's asking toe smelling questions on Quora. There's many more, but those are just the few that I'll read. So yeah, in case you haven't figured it out yet, Jackson is a big problem. Like, it's so annoying, and I know responding to him only gives him the attention he wants, but this isn't okay. And if I can bring awareness to him and we can keep him banned, that would be amazing. This question intrigued me, and this may be Jackson's cousin, because I don't know anyone else on Quora who asks these questions about feet and stuff, so this makes sense. How should I react after finding my 37-year-old's cousin's Quora and seeing him ask 15 questions about 13-year-old girls and their stinky feet? And I said, OMG, are you Jackson's cousin? If so, can you get him some help, please? He has asked about 1 million of these questions on hundreds of sock puppet accounts. He's really into the sexual questions of underage girls. Does he have a history of these kinds of behaviors? You should really investigate him. And make sure he stays far away from children. Something is wrong with him. Are you aware he's a pedophile? I bet the reaction is shocking, especially if you were never aware of this. He should be in jail, honestly, but one of these days, he's going to act out these fantasies with real children." So Jackson being 37 and asking this stuff, he must be a pervert. Here are some of his other creepy questions he asked. He's just awful, and he needs to be stopped. I've had about enough of him and his antics, and we're all over it. But Jackson has asked a lot more than 15 questions. He makes fake profiles and sock puppet accounts and keeps doing this, and he's been doing it for a long time. And everyone is rude and sarcastic with him because it's annoying. And we always downvote, block, and report, but it doesn't do much because he just makes new accounts. Like this question. What's the deal with Jackson and all his stinky feet questions? I don't know. We've been trying to figure that out for several years now. Like here. I answered, he changed the question to be about Donald Trump. Like, no, you can still see the original question. I love their other responses, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening right now. Are you kidding? Jackson is severely messed up, and I believe that he should be in jail. He's not safe around children, and he needs to be jailed. He's creepy, he's annoying, and he needs to be stopped. So that's the end of this video. Please do not be like Jackson. He is terrible, and if you could spread awareness or report any of his questions or anything on Quora, that'd be really helpful. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment if you can, and we'll see you later. Bye!